My wife's father lifts our daughter by her wrists, and she has stopped putting her arms up to him. Every Sunday, Dennis came over for dinner, and every Sunday he scooped up our 2-year-old Maddie and swung her around the living room. She used to reach for him the second he walked in the door, so when he arrived last week and she didn't lift her arms, I noticed. "There's my girl," Dennis said, grabbing her by both wrists and hoisting her up. Maddie didn't laugh. She hung there like a doll, stiff, arms limp. "You okay, sweetheart?" I asked. "She's just tired," my wife Karen said from the kitchen. "Dad, dinner's almost ready." But I kept watching. When he set her down, Maddie speed crawled behind the couch and stayed there. "She's in a phase," Karen said later. "Toddlers are weird. Stop making it a thing." Maybe she was right. But the next morning, I was getting Maddie dressed and she screamed when I lifted her arm to put her shirt on. Not a fussy scream, a real one. Hey, what's wrong?" She grabbed her own left wrist with her right hand and held it against her chest. "Owie, where, baby?" "Papa." My stomach dropped. "Papa did an owie?" She nodded and buried her face in my shoulder. I told Karen. She waved me off. "She fell off the step stool Tuesday." "That's the owie. You're spiraling." I didn't argue. But that afternoon, I drove to the electronics store and bought a little camera, the kind that looks like a phone charger. I plugged it into the outlet by the couch, right where Dennis liked to play with her. Sunday came. Dennis walked in. "There's my girl." Maddie backed away. He laughed, reached down, and pulled her up by the wrists again. "Dad, be gentle," Karen said. "She loves it. Don't baby her." I smiled and made small talk and grilled the chicken and said nothing. After he left, I went straight to my laptop and pulled the footage. At first, it was normal. Then Karen and I went into the kitchen to plate the food, and for 90 seconds, it was just Dennis and Maddie alone in the living room. I watched him set her on the floor. I watched her toddle toward the hallway to get away from him, and I watched him grab her by the wrist, yank her back, and twist. Her mouth opened in a scream I hadn't heard because the kitchen fan had covered it. He clamped his other hand over her mouth and leaned down close. "Stop crying," he whispered. "Grandpas don't like criers. You cry, I pull harder." Then he heard us coming and let go, and by the time we walked back in, he was bouncing her on his knee like nothing happened. I felt the blood leave my face. I didn't sleep. In the morning, I showed Karen the video. She got through 11 seconds before she put her hand over her mouth. "He's been doing that," she said when she came back. "Gray, how long has he been doing that?" "I don't know, but he's done." We took Maddie to urgent care that afternoon. The doctor looked at the x-ray a long time. "This is a healed radial fracture," she said. "Small, a few weeks old, and there's an older one under it. These are consistent with the arm being pulled and twisted." Repeatedly. Karen made a sound I'll never forget. The doctor was quiet a second. "I'm required to report this. Do you know who did it?" "Yes," I said. "We have him on camera." That Sunday, Dennis came over like always. He didn't know we knew. He walked in, spread his arms wide, and said, "There's my..." "Don't touch her," I said. He stopped. "Excuse me." I turned the TV on. His own face filled the screen. His own voice. "You cry, I pull harder." He went white. That's out of context. She was misbehaving." The doorbell rang. 2 officers were standing on the porch because I'd called them 20 minutes before he arrived and told them exactly when he'd walk in. "Dennis," one of them said, "we need you to come with us." He looked at Karen. "Sweetheart, tell them. You know me." Karen picked up Maddie, held her tight, and turned her face away so she wouldn't have to watch her grandfather in handcuffs. "I know you," Karen said. "That's the problem." They took him out the front door by his wrists.